Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Here it is. I'm gonna share about my answer. It's qualitative language education. So let you know about my presentation. Okay, so here I'm gonna talk about improving student speaking through the role play. Before that, let me introduce myself. My name is ZAHWA NAILAS, and this is the course Qualitative Research in Language Education, and I will share about my presentation. Okay, so the background of this study, the first is the students are passive in speaking class. The teachers needs a solution to improve the students. Traditional teaching causes boredom, and the last many students are shy and afraid to speak and make a mistake. Okay, so for the research problem, I have two questions that I can explain it here. The first is how can student speaking participation be improved? The second one, what teaching strategy can increase students' confidence in speaking? Okay, so the research objective, I have three ideas here. The first to improve student speaking participation, the second to increase student confidence through role play activities to create a fun activity and solve boredom. So I want to answer about the second question. Here in this second idea, I took a role play as the activities. Okay, so for the research method, the first is the method is action research. So there are four, but I take this action research to answer all the question. And the second one, researcher acts as a teacher. So I am as a teacher, I will research in the classroom. So here it is held in a classroom setting. And then the fourth is focus on the improvement of the student. Okay, so the action research cycles, there are four, actually. The first is planning, acting, observing, and reflecting. Okay, the first is on the planning. Designing role play activities. The second one, preparing a lesson plan. The third, preparing observation set. In this planning, of course, that we have to create the role play activities to make it fun. And of course, we need a lesson plan to make it clear stuff from the first until behind, and observation set to know the way how to apply these activities. And then the last one is acting. The first is teaching, speaking using role play. The second, student practice dialogues. The third, student work in a groups. Okay, so in this act, so we're gonna have like role play, and then I will divide the student into each group, like small group, something like that. So they will apply the role play with speaking dialogue. Okay, the third is observing. Observing student participation using an observation checklist, taking notes and documentation. While doing observation, so the first is, of course, we observe the student and we have such as to-do list to checklist the observation and taking notes, of course, documentation to have like document and know the progress. The last is reflecting. The first is evaluating result, planning improvement for the next, identify strength and weakness. Reflecting is the way how to know the conclusion is. So we know the result, we know the planning for the next improvement, and we know the strength and the weakness. Okay, so the next. Sorry. Data collection techniques. Okay, so I have three, of course. The first is we have observation. So we observe the student. Interview, of course. So while doing this observation, I have some question to ask. And then the last is documentation to know the result of this action research. Okay, so the last we have the result of this. It's the conclusion of all this presentation. The first is action research help to solve classroom problems. The second, role play can be effective for speaking class that a teacher can boost teaching practice. So here the conclusion I have answered about the first question, like how the teacher can improve and what activity, something like that. So here for the conclusion. So action results have to solve the classroom problems like custom rhythm, and they will have like fun activities environment. And the second one, it's with role play, so we can create like that. And maybe with role play we can combine with another techniques also, and the teacher can boost teaching practice. It's not only the teacher who improves, so the student also improves their speaking. The teacher also improves their observing. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thank you for the last. I hope that this presentation can answer this question. The last I say Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.